Welcome back to my channel. My name is D1 Burton and I'm a fashion and portrait photographer based out of Miami, Florida. On today's episode of How I Got the Shot, we're gonna do this is not how I got the shot. Yes, today is gonna be a little bit different. So we're actually gonna be working in Photoshop. We're gonna be talking about the idea of contrast. Contrast is the difference between black and white in your tonal values. So in histogram, on your left side is gonna be your blacks, on the white side is gonna be your whites. How the information is distributed on that histogram is gonna tell you if there's high contrast or low contrast. So in order to show you guys this in the real world, let's go right to Photoshop. Now that we're in Photoshop, there's a lot of different ways to create contrast. So I'm gonna show you guys the practical ways that I apply contrast to an image, and then also introduce you guys to an idea from just thought psychology that helps to boost contrast as well. So before we do anything, we always wanna duplicate our background. This is a normal practice I do on every single photo that I edit. So we're gonna click on our background. I'm gonna press Command J. You can also right click on that layer and hit duplicate layer, and I'll get you to the same place. The most common way to create contrast is using the curves adjustment layer. So you come here, you would drag from this point, because this is in your shadows, but you're trying to make your shadows darker and you want to make your brights brighter. Now that works. There's contrast created. You can see that things have gotten brighter everywhere, and then places where it was a little bit faded, it's gotten darker. And you can see your subject is starting to pop off more. And this is the main purpose of contrast, is to create that pop. So now let's exaggerate it a lot. And now you can see going from here to here, everything is popping a lot more, but it's way too much. So that's why we want to reduce both of these down, or at least bring this down and bring this back up, because we don't need to create a crazy amount of contrast. And then we also want to set this blending mode to luminosity. The reason why we do that is because we're just trying to create contrast. We're just trying to show the difference between black and white. We're not trying to mess with the saturation. And if you don't set this to luminosity, that's what's gonna happen. I can also show you this in action using Camera Raw. So if we go up to Filter, Camera Raw, and we bring the contrast slider to the right, it's gonna boost the blacks and it's gonna boost the whites, but you can see also the saturation levels are crazy. It's just way too much. Everything is way too saturated. If someone sees this and says, oh, that looks fine, doesn't look bad to me, as you continue to go on your journey as a photographer and you continue to learn how to edit, your awareness of these things will come out more. But yeah, this doesn't look good. This is not gonna be useful for any type of commercial work, and I'm telling your clients are not gonna like if you just boost it all the way over here. This doesn't look good. So let's cancel that. So we set the luminosity, we set the blending mode to luminosity. We have a little bit of contrast there. We can also use the levels adjustment layer. Now there's two ways to use it. You can just eyeball it to where you like it. And I'm keeping my eye on my subject. I'm not really looking at the background to see like where my values are. And I'm eyeballing it. Now again, I've done this for a long time, so I can kind of see when things are right. But there is a way for you to kind of check using the systems within inside of Photoshop. So holding down Option, if you drag from this slider, as you start to see more and more information, those things are becoming almost black, like they're getting a lot darker. And let's look at it really quick. A lot darker. Let's go over to this one, hold down Option and drag to the left. And I'm looking to see it on her face. There we go. And you see how it's added that contrast. So again, the whites have been brightened, the darks have been darkened, and that's how we're creating our contrast. But it is a little too much. There's also along her arm here, the information is blown out because that's how it was shot that day. This is a little bit of an older image, and I know like now I would have been a lot more aware of that. But either way, let's ignore the fact that this is blown out when we're creating this contrast, because we can always mask that out, but we're looking right at her face. And that's a decent amount of contrast, but I really do think we went too far with these blacks. Somewhere in here is good. Now, another way to add contrast, and this is not something that I learned on my own or my intuition kicked in. I'm like, ooh, what if I did X, Y, and Z? This is actually picked up from a photographer named Sean Tucker. He has a YouTube channel on here with a ton of amazing videos. Like, he's just a very thoughtful person, and his presentation is amazing. I've used the word amazing like 3 billion times, but when you see his channel and you listen to the way he talks and how he interprets photography, you'll understand why I kept using that word. But his technique is using the color balance tool And let's go into our shadows. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put cool into the shadows, and then we're gonna introduce warm tones back into the mid-tones. Now, the reason we're doing this is because contrast, outside of photography, is just the difference between two different things. It's essentially opposites. So if you take the idea of opposites and you add that into what we're doing, you can find opposites in a lot of different places. So one way of doing it is finding it in the color tones. So if you add cyans, let's say about 5 into the cyans, let's add about 5 into blues, because you really don't need a lot for this. And then we're gonna add reds into the mid-tones as well, about the same amount. Watch how it pops. You see that a little bit of contrast? So this is without it, that's with it, without it, with it. Does it make sense to you guys? Without it, with it, and it's a little bit of contrast. So you can always exaggerate this as well. You can go way more. And I'm actually liking the way this is looking too, because I prefer this image warm. I'm showing you, the version I'm showing you guys is literally almost straight out of camera with little to no changes to it. And look at that contrast we just got in there. Absolutely beautiful. And we don't need to change the blending mode or anything to this. This already just works. Now, another way of doing it is sharpening your image. So when you sharpen your image, the reason why it starts to pop off your screen and starts to really get your attention is because sharpness in photography and as far as editing software is just adding contrast. It's making your blacks a little bit blacker on your finer details and adding whites to your whites on that finer detail. So let's do that. In order to do it, we need to create a stamp visible. So let's press Command, Option, Shift, and E. We're gonna go up to Filter, Other, High Pass. Now, when using this tool, if you push it all the way to the right, you get pretty much nothing. It looks like it's useless. And if you do it all the way over here, that's also useless. So what I like to do it, at least when I'm teaching it, is let's start on the right and let's pull back. And as we pull back, you're gonna see less and less color. And you see this halo kind of effect that's going, this ghosting. We're trying to move it down to where we don't see that ghosting. Let's also zoom out here and zoom in on her face. We don't wanna see halos. So we wanna keep moving down till we stop seeing the halos. Yeah, see, we're getting there. And now we don't see really any halos. We just see fine detail. You see little to no halos. Yeah, I think that's good. Now, this looks absolutely useless. This looks like we're wasting time. What are we doing? How do we fix it? And this is simply by changing the layer blending mode. So we're gonna change that to overlay. And if we zoom in a little bit more, take up a little bit more space on the screen, you'll be able to see that the image is sharper. Let's look closer into her eyes. So with it on, that's with it off, with it on, with it off. It's making sense to you guys? Nobody's answering because no one can see. No one's here, it's just me. So no one's gonna answer that question, but you guys can see that it is a little bit sharper. Now we can reduce that down if we needed to. Anytime I'm doing sharpening, I always reduce it down. Now I do use the beauty retouch panel and they have their own sharpening. So with that, I would do the same thing. I would make a stamp visible, Command, Option, Shift, E, just hit the sharpening tool. So any type of sharpening will give you this effect. Will give you that that pop that you're looking for, and then I will reduce that down to like 30–40%. Again, depending on the image, depending on the manufacturer of the camera that you're using, depending on how large a subject is in the image. Like there's a bunch of factors that go into figuring out what this opacity should be and then what the numbers would be if you use high pass. But it's great to use it to create contrast. Yeah, so I generally would keep this down to like 40% or so. All right, so the other idea is to use one of the concepts within just thought psychology, which is figure to ground relationship. So in this scenario, you want to have a bright subject with a dark background, or you want to have a dark subject with a bright background. So how I practically use this is by selecting my subject. We got a pretty good selection. We missed her thumb. We got her shoes. Everything else looks to be pretty much there for now. And obviously you can do this a lot better when you take your time. And let's fill this with black. So what we're gonna do, so we selected her, but we filled her with black, which means the background is what's gonna be affected by this layer. So let's brighten her background, which makes our subject darker, but it makes her pop off the screen and it creates contrast. It's that simple. Now, if we wanted to do it the other way, we would need to take this and we would darken our background significantly, and then we want to brighten her up. But this looks weird to me. I don't like the way this looks. Also, the image was not shot with that in mind. I shot it with the idea of keeping my background brighter and keeping her darker. So we're going to keep it that way. So that's another way of adding contrast and making sure your image pops. I also feel like this image should just be warmer in general. That makes me happy. I love warm tones when it comes to skin. So that's kind of where I would stop with that. I feel like there's enough contrast in this image. And let's show you guys without everything we did and everything we just did. Without it, with it. Bunch of contrast, really quick. And the more you do this, your intuition will kick in about what you need to do and how far to go. Also, thinking about your subject, thinking about the concept you're going for, especially when you're still in fashion, anything where you need to sell a product, you don't want to lose any detail in the product. So that's another thing I was like hyper focused on in this scenario. All right, so let's go to image number 2. Now this image, let's delete that layer. This image I've already cleaned up, but I haven't added the contrast that I normally add in here. So we could go here, can make it a little bit darker. We can make this a little bit brighter. And then we reset our layer blending mode to luminosity, and bow, we have contrast. I have a form of contrast. Now, there is another way to do it. Now, Sean Tucker does this one way. I have another way of doing it, but let's show you the Sean Tucker way. So what he does is he gets a black and white adjustment layer, and he says to play with your reds and your yellows. So what you're gonna do, we're gonna darken our reds and then we're gonna brighten our yellows. The reason why you wanna move these two is because, especially when you're shooting a person. Now, if you're doing landscape or doing something else, like you can move whatever you want or whatever is in the image. But for this one, primarily, we're gonna be focused on our subject. So we're gonna darken her skin a little bit, but we're gonna brighten up her suit. Now, there is some yellows in her skin, but it's primarily reds because she has a darker skin tone. So let's stop there. And then we're gonna set this to soft light. And then we're gonna bring that opacity down. And wow, look at that contrast. Makes the image pop a lot more. And there was nothing wrong with the image prior to that, but that's gonna add an extra pop. Now, the way that I do it, the Dion way, is to add a gradient map. So the gradient map is gonna do is it's gonna take anything, think about this as a histogram. So let's picture this as a histogram. All of your black values or your dark values are gonna be on the left side, and all of your bright values are gonna be on this side. So what this is telling Photoshop is that anything that's black, make it black. Anything that's white, make it white. If you add a color in here, let's say we added like an orange. What that's gonna do is it's gonna say, hey, I know black is black and white is white, but as I'm transitioning from white going to black, I'm gonna add yellow to all of these spaces in between here, all of these tones and these notches that get you from black to white. So let's take this out. Let me explain this another way. So from here to here, there are a number of steps. There's a bunch of grays, different grays in here. When you add a color in here, you're now saying, hey, what used to be gray is now yellow. That makes sense? And getting a little bit distracting because it's like more about color grading than anything else. See? Bow adds a little thing to it. Let's get focused, Dion. Try this again. So what I would do, if I'm trying to add contrast into my image, I'm gonna say this is black, this is gray, this is going to be 50% gray. And I'm gonna leave that there. I just want black and white. I'm gonna set that to soft light, and then I'm gonna reduce that all the way down. And what I also noticed that anytime I've used this, I always felt like I lost some saturation. So I would add another layer of vibrance in here and boost that up a little bit. That vibrance just makes sure that things are popping. Now, doing it this way also darkens the image. It doesn't do what the black and white did because the black and white isolated it. So you can use these separately, you can use them in combination. If you want to make adjustments there, you can change this to, let's say it was 50%. And you can shift this around and create different levels of contrast. Because what we're doing is we're saying, remember, whatever was this other type of gray, we're gonna make that gray brighter. And if we bring this across, we're gonna say, well, let's make those things that weren't black, blacker. and you can control your contrast a little more. So that's the difference between the two, is that here you have sliders that focus on certain tones, but here you can control the tones that way. Now, both of them work really well. I like both methods. It's up to you on which one you use. Now, if we added the color tone contrast that we talked about on the other image, let's add some coolness to our shadows. And then in our mid-tones, let's add another pop of color. That's beautiful contrast. Beautiful, beautiful contrast. We can also try using the levels adjustment layer, holding down Option and dragging across. Immediately we're seeing her swimwear. We're not seeing her skin. And then for this one, we can just bring this over because this value is not, there's nothing peaking. So if we hold down, we're gonna lose the sky. We're not losing her yet, but we're losing the sky. Yeah, so we can almost keep going. We're not even touching her yet. Now we're getting to her. So let's pull it back. So it's a lot more contrast. So pretty much all of this information was the sky. These histograms tell you a lot if you can learn how to interpret the values that's in here. But moving this slider taught us that this information is really about the sky. But look at that contrast. And if we add that in combination with one of these other ones, that's too far. We don't want the vibrance. Now the other ones look like they're too far. So let's actually not do that. But let's leave it here. But then we can also, let's get rid of that one. Sorry, not get rid of that one. Let's bring that one back a little bit. And if we move this slider, as you move this slider to the right, the image gets darker. As you move this slider to the left, this is similar to what we were seeing with our gradient map. This part gets brighter. That looks really good to me. That looks like what I would do for a client. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so the last thing we would do is sharpen. So let's just use the sharpening tool that's inside of the Retouching Academy, and boom, and let's reduce that down. And we've added another layer of sharpness. So as you guys can see, adding contrast to your images really make them pop. That might be the thing you guys have been missing in your photography and you didn't know it, or maybe you were trying to do it and it just wasn't working right. Now you guys have multiple tools and multiple methods on how you can add that contrast into your images. So thank you for being here. If you have any comments, please leave them below, or any questions, leave those below. Make sure you leave a like on this video so that the algorithm picks it up. And to show that you actually liked it. If you like it, like it. Let's do that. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up for the like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you're notified as soon as I put up a new video. And also, if you want extended versions of my videos, you want exclusive content from previous projects, if you want more insight into just what I do, go over to my Patreon. I just started it out. So right now there's, I think, 10 posts on there, but I'm gonna continuously be adding on to that. So throughout the next few weeks, it's gonna be heavily populated with a ton of information. And then I'll slow it down to, maybe 5 or 6 posts a week. But you're gonna be getting a ton of information over there. A lot of exclusives that I'm not gonna put on Instagram, that you're not gonna see on YouTube, but you can only see if you join my Patreon. I know we're out here creating for clients and we're taking care of other people, but make sure you are creating for yourself. See you in the next one. Peace.